Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. I hope you're all well. This is the table of Ramadan, by the way, yeah. You can fast the whole day, don't eat the whole day, and then you eat like a rich person, right? You can afford all this, yeah. How about the poor person looking at your video and thinking, why God is punishing me? You know what I mean? I can't even eat like them. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's just observation. All right. Now we're going to tell you Ramadan from the Quran. I know I said I'm going to do 3 videos, but it's just going to be too long. So this video itself is going to be too long, as I said, because I'm going to have to go through a lot of things to prove what I believe in, basically what I come up with at the end of it. So, you know, I always say, right, do not follow me, right? Do not follow me. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a messenger. I don't claim to have all the truth. I'm only a human being. I can make mistakes. And I like people to help me when I make a mistake and tell me, this is where you made a mistake exactly, instead of calling me names and calling me all this nonsense, really, basically, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't help anyone. If it doesn't help anyone, why do we say it? Do we say things that they are negative to everyone? Do you know what I mean? But alright, I'm only going to use the Quran, by the way, yeah, and I'm going to tell you what some people say, right? I'm going to compare it a little bit with what the Sunni do. I have to, do you know what I mean? So to prove that they coming up with things like from the top of their heads, nothing to do from the Quran, you know, understand? So if you use anything outside the Quran, so you're distorting the Quran itself. If you're translating it wrong, you're distorting the Quran as well. So I'm going to try to do it as thorough as possible. I can't use all the verses that be like mad, I'll be here all forever. I might edit the video because I need to add more things if I forget. So, because it's kind of hard to do it. It takes a lot of time, and it took me a lot of time actually to do this. I mean, all this research and that. So, let's go through it, alright? Alright, I'm going to use all the verses that to do, not like the Sunnis, they have the cancel verses. I don't cancel any verse. I believe in every verse there is in the Quran. I believe some of them are talking about the past, but the idea is about all of us. Some verses are just about the past, so it's history, so we can't really, you know what I mean? The history, so I believe they actually happened in the past, so they have got nothing to do with me today or the future, but they're not there for no reason. They're there to get the examples from, to learn the wisdom from those stories. You see what I'm saying? I still don't say any verse from the Quran is useless like the Sunnis do. So, let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's start with chapter 2, verse 183. Why I'm starting with this verse, because it starts with Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, those who have believed. You see, because that's talking to us, the people that believe in Muhammad, believe in Islam and in Muhammad as a prophet. So God call us ladina amanu, those who have believed. It doesn't mean the one before us haven't believed, but just to make the distinction between people that in the Quran. You see what I'm saying? So, all right, we start with that. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. So let's go. Oh, you have believed. Decreed upon you is Siyam, as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Okay, so we have here, God is talking to us, right? To the followers of Muhammad, that the Siyam is decreed on us. It's not obligatory. You see here. You see, it's kutiba. It's not forila, right? So that is a choice here. So we have got a choice in here, right? Why? Because there's no punishment. If there's no punishment, that means we can do it if we can. If we can't do it, it's okay. There's no sin happening here, right? So basically, this Siyam has been decreed on us, right? And the idea to do the Siyam is to get to righteousness, because we have to really circle righteousness, because it's all about righteousness. It's all about the Siyam. It's all about righteousness. Yeah. So, okay. Now, we have to go back and see who did God decreed the Siyam to as well. So we go to verses, so we know that what happened in those. Who are the people who actually God decreed Siyam on, right? So we have to do this, right? Step by step, please. You have to follow me, proper follow me, right? So, the example in the Quran is Surah 19, Surah Maryam, verse 10, right? This is Zachariah after God gave him a son, because he was old and his wife was she couldn't have kids and all that, so he gave him this proof, right? And then what Zachariah said, right? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قال ربي اجعل لي آية قال آيتك ألا تكلم الناس ثلاث ليال سوية. Okay? And he said, my Lord, give me a sign or proof. Right? He said, your sign is that you will not speak to the people for 3 consecutive nights. So that's 3 consecutive nights, right? And how do we know this is Siyam as well? Because it happened to Mary. You call it Mary, I call it Maryam, all right? This is on Surah 19, verse 26. I mean, after giving, like, after her newborn spoke to her, all right? And then God said, فَكُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّ عَيْنًا فَإِمَّا تَرَيَنَّ مِنَ الْبَشَرِ أَحَدًا فَقُولِ إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنسِيًّا. See? What did she say here? God said, eat, not eat as food and drink as drink. Right? I'll come to that later when I have to. I will have to, but let me just explain this step by step. He said, eat and drink and be happy. When you see anyone say, I made a vow of silence, I'm not talking today to anyone, right? So that's one day. So we know that Zachariah is 3 days, consecutive days, told him not to talk to people. And then Mary, 1 day, not to talk to people, right? So she said Sawman. That means, this Sawman means she has to stop something. She had to stop something. And that something, God made it precise. To Zachariah, he told him 3 days. You see, 3 days, not to talk to anyone for 3 days. And to Mary, 1 day. Apparently, it's 1 day. Looking at this verse, it's 1 day, right? Because she said, I will not be talking to anyone today, right? So she said, I will do the Siyam of talking for 1 day, okay? So we know now, yeah. So we know who are the people that done the Siyam, or the people before us, or the Jews or the Christians. But we know roughly from the Quran what the word Siyam means, okay? It's to stop something, right? To stop something, to isolate yourself from something. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what it means. All right. Now, so we know, yeah? We know that God, when Allah wants us to do something, He will tell us that He's done it to others. So He's done it to others. We went and found out in the Quran who does the Siyam. And that Siyam is from Mary and Zachariah. Remember the status of these people, yeah? Just remember the status. It's very important that you know the status of these people. Basically, Mary, you know, the mother of Isa, right? What happened to her? She received a revelation, and Zechariah, he received a revelation as well. So these people are important. You know what I'm saying? They're very important. So we go on with the rest of the Siyam. Verse 184, chapter 2. أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Right. Now, this أيام المعدودات. A lot of people say few days. People said few days. People say specific days. People say a lot of things. But for me, yeah, أيام المعدودات is the days that you prepare for. You prepare them for. العدة. Not العدة. العدة is number. العدة is not. It's preparation, basically. It's preparation, right? أيام المعدودات. Okay? Let's go to English. Prepared days are designated for Siyam. If one is ill, and I'll go back to this ill and traveling, yeah, because they have different meaning as well. But let's not go into that to get lost in that, because I'm going to need about 10 verses to explain that. So if one is ill or traveling, it says an equal number, but it's not an equal number. I mean, you can do it other days, right? You can do it other days, right? Or you can substitute it in the future, right? Those who can fast, right? Those who can fast, الذين يطيقونه. Those who can fast, I mean, they can fast, right? They can not fast. They can do the Siyam, right? They can, right? They're not with the ones that are ill or traveling, right? They can replace that, not doing Siyam, by feeding the poor, okay? Or they can volunteer. I'll come to that later, yeah? Or they can do some volunteering, is better. So they either can feed the poor, right? Because they're rich, they can afford it, they can feed the poor, right? Or they can do some volunteering. It depends, right? We come to that as well. Just give me a chance, right? And follow me step by step, please. And but Siyam is best for you if you only knew. So this Siyam is better than feeding the poor, right? And it's better than volunteering, right? It is better. But if you can't do it, you can feed the poor, which is a good deed. I mean, that's what ibadah is. That's what al-amal salih is, right? A good deed is, right? Or volunteer, which is volunteering. You don't get paid for that. Whatever you do, you don't get paid for it. You see what I'm saying? That's a good deed as well. The salihat, right? And you know what Allah said about salihat? Who goes to heaven? You see, who goes to heaven is people that believing in Allah, right? Believing in a last day, judgment day, and do good deeds. Always put that in your head, yeah? It's righteousness and doing good deeds, right? Right. So we got that. And then we move on, right? We move on to chapter 2, verse 185. Surah 2, verse 185. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Put the Furqan, yeah? Furqan, yeah? Couple of lines. We'll circle Furqan, yeah? Because that's going to come. What it means. What the Furqan means, right? So, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرِ. You know shahida, yeah? Whatever, I'm going to come in English anyway. فَلْيَصُمْهُ وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. There's a lot to explain here, okay? Because Ramadan, right? First of all, that's not a name of a month, right? Yeah. That's not, before the Quran, there wasn't any month called Ramadan, right? And everyone knows that, even the Sunnis know that, right? So, it's the month, right? A month doesn't mean literally a month, right? Doesn't literally mean a month. It's a period of time, right? A period of time, as long as that thing is happening, right? It will carry on. Do you understand? It's like a new, a new oh, can't how do I put it? It's like a new dawn, or new day, or or a new something new. You see what I'm saying? Something new. It's like a new dawn, right? A new light, new sun. It's like something. It starts from here. Yeah, starts from here. It's just happening now. You understand that, right? Alladhi, right? Ramadan is the month which is the Quran was revealed, right? So now, right? So what happened in this month here? The Quran was revealed. So this is something big, right? This is something big. And what does the Quran do? Providing guidance for the people. So this Quran provides guidance for all people. For all people. Not just Muslims, for all people. I've gone through that before, yeah? Clear proofs of guidance. And the Furqan, because I couldn't give it justice and give it a name, this Furqan. I'll have to explain it, you understand that? The Furqan, basically what the Furqan means, right, is something that separates light from darkness, good from bad. That's what the Furqan is, right? It splits two things, two like light from dark, or darkness from light, or good from bad, or good from evil, and evil from good. You see what I'm saying? So this Quran, that's what it does, right? Because it's got the Furqan and it's got proof guidance, clear proof of guidance in it. I'm saying, those of you, and just I don't want to add one thing here. The word Quran here, yeah. This is I'm talking chapter 2, verse 185. The first time in the Quran, in the whole book, yeah, the word Quran was mentioned is on this verse. All the verses before it, it was addressed as a book. Because there is a difference, as I said, between a book and the Quran, right? And I'll explain it to you in the future, inshallah, right? So, those of you who witness the month, right? Those of us who witness that month, yeah, or that beginning, right, of a new dawn, right? While the Quran was getting revealed, I mean, we can't really, can you really witness a month? You can't really witness a month. A month is it's time. You can't witness time. Do you understand? So, and we weren't there. I mean, the dead, Allah will not talk about the dead. So when he says witness, so when you witness something, you have to actually be there. Otherwise, you're a false witness. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be there. But we have not seen, none of us today have witnessed that event, have we? No, we haven't. But what did we witness? What did all of us witness? Not all of us, right? Not all of us, right? But a lot of us witnessed the Quran, witnessed the book. So any one of us now can get the book. And that's what we're supposed to be witnessing, right? The book, right? Not the time, not the month. I mean, in a whole year, if nothing happens in the whole year, you will not remember the year. You will not remember the year. So you will only remember time with events that happen. And this is exactly the same. In this month in particular, in this time in particular, it's not the month that is special, it's what happens in that month. It's the event. And the event is the Quran. So we can't witness time, so we can witness the event. And today we can witness the event, which is the book that we all have and read from. So we all witness to it. As soon as you hold the Quran, you witness to the Quran. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So those who witness the month shall do Siyam. Okay. Those who are ill, we'll talk about ill another time, yeah, or traveling, may substitute the same number of the days, which is not like that really. And those who are ill or traveling, they can do it in the future when they prepare themselves. That's what it means, right? They can do the Siyam in the future because Allah here so far hasn't told us how many days, has He? He hasn't told us how many days, so we don't know. If we go outside the Quran, they tell you the whole month, but they're talking about this. This Quran is like a month, literally a month, right? Because today they called it a month, but before that, it wasn't a month. It was an event that happened, right? Although some people say Ramadan means hot or not hot, I don't want to go there because I don't need to know that because it's not going to help me. I understand that. It's not going to help me going outside the Quran. As the Quran does, because this is the first time that name was mentioned is in the Quran. So who can explain it? I mean, to explain it, you have to go outside the Quran. I don't want to do that. You see, I don't want to do that. I just want to stay in the Quran itself. Right? So they might do Siyam in the future. That's what it is, right? God wishes for you convenience. You see, that's convenience, right? That is convenience. That's what it is, convenience. If you're going to tell me that I have to do 30 days of fasting, not eating, not feeding, right? We do 30 days of Siyam, right? That's not convenience, is it? No, that's not convenience. Is it convenience to starve yourself for a month? No, it's not convenience, right? Not hardship. That is hardship. I mean, starving for a month, right? No food, no drink for a month. That is hardship. And after Allah said that you may fulfill your obligations and to glorify Allah for guiding you and to express your appreciation. Right? You know why I say it's not. Let's carry on with this. Right. So for us to do this Siyam, right? For us to do this Siyam, again, we have to go to righteousness. So we're doing the Siyam to get to righteousness, right? You see, it's all righteousness. The whole idea is to righteousness, okay? And what other way we can do it? The first way, he says, we do it with the Quran. So the Quran, right, is a guidance, right? The book is a guidance in chapter 2, verse 2, I think, yeah? ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. It's a guidance to righteousness, right? It guides the righteous to stay righteous. You see what I'm saying? So the Quran or the book or the Quran is to guide you to righteousness. See? And to do Siyam, it will guide you to righteousness. Okay. Let's just put that in mind. That's all. You know what I mean? I told you this video is going to be long. I must split it in two. Okay, I must split it in two because that's going to be too long, right? So after God said, not hardship, right? God wishes for you convenience, not hardship, that you may fulfill your obligations and to glorify Allah for guiding you and to express your appreciation. So how do we express appreciation and glorify Allah? By starving. How does that do anything? Or is it Siyam here is to isolate yourself, right, from your daily life, your work, your family, your thing, and spend those days. Allah said if you want to rush it in 2 days, it's fine, right? So minimum is 2 days, right? Minimum is 2 days. You don't have to do them straight, but minimum is 2 days, and you can do as many as you want, right? What you do in those 2 days, right, is because you can get righteousness from the book. You don't get righteousness from starving yourself. Allah said you get righteousness from this book, and we're looking for righteousness. So if this book leads you to righteousness, so Allah is telling you here to do Siyam. What's that Siyam? Is to stop. Not to stop, all of a sudden stop. That's why he said prepare days. So you prepare yourself to them days, right? You tell your family. If you have work, you have work. You tell them you're not coming, or you do it on your day off. You tell your family. Find somewhere to do this isolation. You know what I mean? So you have to prepare for this. It doesn't just happen. You can't just say, hey, tomorrow I'm going, and you leave your family and you work and your obligations. No, you don't do that. So you prepare yourself for them days, all right, properly. And you say, today, all right, or tomorrow, or next week, or whenever, all right, I'm going to spend 2 days somewhere, all right? And I'm going to isolate myself from my daily life, what I do every day, all right, and spend my time reading the Quran. But I mean, by reading it, it's by studying it. Okay? You get the book, you study it. You study the book, just the book, for 2 days. When do you stop? We're going to come to that because we don't want to jump the gun, right? But I just have to say, to give you, sorry, bear with me a second, yeah? All right. Okay, I just want to bring one verse only, right? All right, there you go. Now, so if you're going to say those are few days, all right, instead of prepared days, you say those are few days, all right, few days you have to do. So, and I go back to the Sunnis again, yeah? Go back to the Sunnis. So, I'll just give you a proof from the Quran, right? And the same verse they used, right? The same verse they used to abrogate verses from the Quran without understanding what the verses means, right? It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, mate. So, if the people before us only done few days, and few days it means more than 3, less than 10, or up to 10, right? That's what a few days is, right? More than 3, less than 10, I'll say roughly, yeah? And then we have to do the whole month. For us, it's the whole month. We're going to starve ourselves. If the ones before us done it for a few days, starved themselves, so we have to starve ourselves for 30 days. And that makes no sense because in the Quran, in the same chapter 2, verse 108, what Allah said, ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها ألم تعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. In English, when we abrogate any proof, or cause it to be forgotten, we produce a better proof, or at least an equal one. Do you not recognize the fact that Allah is omnipotent? See, Allah, is this about this verse, yeah? You know the ayah here, or the proof here, he's talking about past books. See, he's talking about the past books. He's not talking about the Quran. He's not talking about abrogating verses from the Quran with other verses from the Quran. He was not talking about that. He was talking about the books before it. What the people before us used to do, God has changed it or replaced it in our book. But what they've done, they actually used it to abrogate proofs within the Quran itself, within the book itself, which is mental. Right. Now we know, right? God, right? If He has changes anything, He will bring something like it or better than it. I don't think the past people only starve themselves a week or so. We have to do it 30 days. It's any better or equal to it. So it makes no sense. You see, I just want to give you that. That's all, right? And then we go to the verse after it, which is, this is chapter 2, verse 187. Right. أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. Okay, can't say anything because it's in Arabic, so I'll have to go to the English, and then I'll tell you why I don't. I'll tell you what's going on. Yeah, permitted for you. Right. Now we have to go to the word rafath. Right, we have to stop here and explain the word rafath. Right, some people who only believe in the Quran. That's what I said. They're gone outside the Quran to explain that word, right? Rafath, they explained it as sexual harassment, right? That's what they explained it. That's because they gone to the I don't know, to the dictionary or something, or the Arab dictionary, and got that word from that, right? And that's why they said that. And then I have a problem with it. With that, the whole problem is permitted for you. It's like it made it halal. Something was haram, or they knew what Siyam is anyway, so they know what's going on in Siyam, right? But he actually made this rafath, right? Made it permittable. So if it's sexual intercourse, sexual, well, the Sunni says sexual intercourse, but some Qur'an says sexual harassment. So permitted for you is sexual harassment with your women. Okay. Okay. Remember, yeah, here, yeah. A rafath here, right? When he says إلى نسائكم, you see, أحل لكم الرفث إلى نسائكم. That means to your women, You see what I'm saying? Not so permitted for you sexual harassment to your women during the nights of fasting. So God here, it's like Allah is permitting something not right, isn't it? If you put it that way, and that's why I'll have a problem with it. I'll have a little bit of problem with that, because I understand, because if I can actually give you more, I can give you more proof about what you're saying. All right, I'm going to give you more proof, because uhilla lakum, uhilla, you can actually go, right? Wait for me, yeah. Wait for me just for a second. Sorry, I can give you more. I can give you more to back up your story, but I'm not gonna do that. Or shall I be? Not a second, man. I've got too much paper in here. But you have to be. Sorry, I have to be. Just a second. Where is that? Oh my God! Come on. Yeah. When you say uhilla, right? Uhilla can mean the problem was solved, right? I can prove it with the Quran itself, you know what I mean? So it's Surah 50, verse 50, Surah Al-Ahzab. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إنا أحللنا لك أزواجك التي آتيت أجورهن وما ملكت يمينك مما أفاء الله عليك إلى آخر الآية. I mean, I didn't read the whole verse, yeah? But after that, he just told him who made lawful for him to get married to. So he said, أحللنا لك, yeah? أحللنا لك. O Prophet, we made lawful for you, your wives. Let's say we made lawful for you here for now, yeah? For you, your wives, to whom you have paid their due dowry, or what you already have, as granted to you by Allah, also lawful for you in marriage, and a list of women who you can marry. So if you put the word ahlalna here, that means he's made them halal. That means where the haram before. Well, I mean, before the Quran, before the Islam, right? Islam doesn't talk about the past, does it? It talks about present and the future, right? I mean, if you do bad and you didn't know about, revelation and all that, and then you believe in it, I mean, whatever we've done before is going to be wiped out because you haven't done anything. So he wouldn't make his wife halal for him, would he? Okay? Now, to prove that, to prove that what I'm talking about, this is for the people who say it's sexual harassment. I can actually help you out here as well to give you more verses to prove a little bit about what you're saying, all right? Go to Surah 20, verse 25, Surah Taha here. And God, what Allah said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, this is Moses, yeah? After what happened to him before. You can read the verses before that as well, right? قال ربي اشرح لي صدري. Moses said, my Lord, cool my temper. ويسر لي أمري, and make this matter easy for me. واحلل عقدة من لساني, and untie a knot from my tongue. يفقه قولي, so they can understand my speech. واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي, and appoint an assistant for me from my family. See, and I said, أحلل عقدة من لساني. That means solve this, untie this. You know what I'm saying? Solve this problem I have. You see, wahlul, I mean solve this, and in the other verse says ahlalna, right? Okay, I'll explain that how it's ahlalna, right? And then yeah, and this is how, right? This is how Allah, right? Ahlalna laka azwajaka, which is not made it lawful, but he solved the problem he had. Ahlalna here, right? He solved the Prophet Muhammad's problem, right? Not his wives and everything, right? But listen, right? Surah Al-Duha, Surah 93, verse 5. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. And your Lord will give you enough. You will be pleased. This is how he solves his problem with his wives and all that, right? أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Did he not find you orphaned and he gave you a home? وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. He found you astray and he guided you. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. He found you poor and made you rich. And the Sunni said he was poor and putting stones in his stomach because he was starving. You see here. So, right? So God found him poor and made him rich. And by making him rich, he solved his problem because he had wives, I don't know how many, right? He had people that worked for him, right? So how to pay him? So he was in financial difficulty because that's why God said, وَلَا تَعُولُوا. That means don't have big families and then you get into basically financial difficulty. So that's how God, the word ahlanna is not permitted. He solved it. He solved his problems. He didn't make his wives halal because they were always his wives. You know what I mean? So this is to help the guys who said I understand why, right? Because he said أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ. I lost my things again. Right. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ, right? أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ الرَّفَثَ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. Okay? الرَّفَثَ إِلَى لِسَانِكُمْ. Right. Now he says, right? Here, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ could be we solved our problem. We solved your problem. What problem is if the people say sexual harassment, so God could be said here, we solved your problem with your sexual harassment to your women, right? During the nights of fasting. So this is the nights of fasting, right? God is giving them a solution, how to solve that problem. But why I don't agree about this, right? Because they say nisaikum are women. That's what the second mistake is. So for you to say that, so only men have to do this siyam. For you think that it's this sexual harassment to women, that means men do the siyam and read the Quran and then bring it to the women and then explain it to them or chatting it to them. See, so the first mistake is uhilla, right? because here it's been solved. It's actually made it made it permitted. I'll explain why. Right, if you bear with me. And then women here, it does not mean women, literally women. It means female. No, it's not. And I'll tell you why. Tell you why in a minute, yeah? You see, that's why I said it's long. Right. Now, let's look for how to explain to you what a rijal means and nisa means, all right? That's why I have to go. I'll give you a conclusion at the end because I have to do it because I'm actually here debating some people who believe in, not debating, but having a chat with them, you know what I mean, trying to explain it to them. The Sunnis, I can't really debate them because everything is different for them, you know what I mean? But I'll give you my conclusion at the end, what the word Siyam means. But I have to do this so I can cover a few bases and bring as many verses as I can, all right? So, now we go the meaning of Rijal and Nisa, all right? Because, yeah, they can be females, but here in this particular verse, right, it's not females, right? Okay. Surah 4, verse 34. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم إلى آخر الآية, to the end of it. The men are made responsible for the women. And they're different with their status and wealth. So the difference between women and men is with their status and wealth, right? Not because of their bodies, right? And qawamun, that means responsible. They are responsible for them. But who are they, this rijal and this nisa? Okay. So if nisa are every time you say nisa in the Quran, which comes from the word nasi, which is something that that is left behind. It's like it's like left behind. It's something that comes after. You know what I'm saying? It's not number one. Nasi is something that left behind a bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'll explain that in a minute. Chapter 33, verse 23, Surah Al-Ahzab. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه فمنهم من قضى نحبه ومنهم من ينتظر وما بدلوا تبديلا. Among the believers, there are men who fulfill their pledges to Allah. Some of them died, while others stand ready, never wavering. So here, Allah can't be just talking about man, is he? He can't just be talking about men. Because where's the women here? It's like saying only men that fulfill their pledges to Allah, only men. But no, it's not men. It's women and men. You understand? Okay. All right, now we go to another verse. Surah Al-Hajj, verse 27, Surah 27, verse 27, I think so. You know, Surah Al-Hajj anyway. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. Some people here say rijalan is to come walking, the walkers. You know what I'm saying? So it could be men and women walking, and they say, right, and they come on basically animals, right? So they come walking and they come riding animals, right? That's why they explained it, right? But it can't be. It really can't be. Rijalan here means exactly what I told you before. It's responsible people. People have importance, right? They have status, or they have money, or they have both, right? Because you can't do Hajj just with money. See, you have to have status. You have to have status. You have to be responsible. You understand that? All right. He said, and call out to the people. The funny bit about it is here. He said, bil Hajj, وَأَذِن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. It didn't say, وَأَذِن فِي الْحَجِّ بِالنَّاسِ لِلْحَجِّ. It's bil Hajj. It's like that Hajj is used for him, used it to call these people. He used the Hajj to call these people. He didn't call them to do Hajj like they do today and go around the building, right? So this, he has to call out to the people with this Hajj, right? So, and call out to the people with a Hajj, right? Man will come to you with all preparations. Man, right? Man will come to you. The man will come. Up, there's that I can say. Kulli dhamirin has other explanation, right? But that's not our problem today, right? Because I'll explain it to you, yeah. And they come from, and they will come from the furthest locations. So Abraham obviously had to send out. I mean, it can't be, because he said you have to send that to everyone, because this Hajj is for the people. You know what I'm saying? So when he actually established his position in that piece of land, right? Or he traveled after, right? Or he actually traveled to people, right? And he was actually, as he was calling them out with this Hajj, right? Or obviously they have to come to him. So he established a place, right? It's called Al-Masjid Al-Haram, right? Remember the word masjid, right? The word masjid. So was it Masjid Al-Haram? And then he sent messengers. Or he went himself, it doesn't matter. So he had to call out these people to come to him, right? And then use the Hajj to convince them to do something here, yeah? Right? Let's stop at there, right? Because if you're going to say من كل ضامر على كل ضامر, it's actually coming on riding, not just walking but riding. So God has to actually contradict himself, or he says different things that mean the same thing. Because I'll tell you when he meant that, what he said, okay? Go to Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, verse, you can read from verse 238. I'm only going to read verse 239. He's talking about doing salat, right? And then God said, and Allah said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ فَرِجَالًا أَوْ رُكْبَانًا فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَمَا عَلَّمَكُمْ مَا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ. God here said, if you're afraid, do it walking or riding. Once you are safe, you shall commemorate Allah as He taught you what you never knew. So, this ala damirin doesn't mean on things, because here it's clearly saying walking or riding. This is exactly tells you rijalan, walking, or riding. It's clear here. So the first verse, rijalan, is not walking. It's men, responsible men. You're only going to call the responsible men, or people who can help, or people who can what? Tatawwa, volunteer. You see, people that volunteer, because that's a big event. It has to be preparations. There has to be, because these people are going to come from all over the world, right? It's going to convince them about something, right? And that something is the Hajj. And the Hajj is done with the revelation. Get it now, yeah? So where were we? We go back to, that's what I said. That's what I stopped here, because well, they're similar. They mean similar. It's similar. It's close, but not that close, because there's a bit of contradictions here, right? Because women are not females here. Is women here is people that work for other people or rely on other people. See, if I have a I don't know, I own a shop, right? So I'm the man of that shop, and anyone that works under me is not. We call it women. They are called women. This is in the Quran. This is not in an Arabic language when you get pissed off when someone calls you like you're not a man or something. That's your thinking, right? But the Quran is different. It has its own words, right? So here he said sexual intercourse, but I'm going to come to you and explain what the rafath means, all right? Trying to get it from the Quran, trying to find out what rafath is, all right? What rafath is. A rafath, have I finished with this? When I finish with something, I have to put it away, because otherwise I get all mixed up. All right, keep looking at that food, it's nice, all right? You know, look at those words, this being done. This being done, this is not this. I'm going to find it in a minute. Just bear with me, please. All right? Bear with me. I use that one. I'm not going to add it. I'm just too lazy to add it. So I'm just going to hold you with me, guys. I mean, I've put a nice table for you, so it can't be ungrateful. Let's see. This is done. Furqan. Okay. Alright, now we're going to look for a Rafath, alright? The Rafath is... that's what it came twice, right? Twice in that verse and in this verse, right? In this verse. So it's chapter 2, verse 197, right? Let's find out what a rafath is, right? الحج أشهر المعلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث, right? ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فأن خير الزاد التقوى واتقوني يا أولي الألباب. Right? I haven't translated it in English, but I'll have to do a quick translation live actually. Right. It said Hajj is known months. Whoever obligated himself to do it, right? Al-Hajj, right? So Hajj is not fard. It's not God asks you to do it, you have to do it. Is if you actually want to do it, yeah? Right? That's what it says here. Farada fihinna. He actually obligated himself. Allah did not obligate him to do the Hajj. So whoever go and does this Hajj, right? It says fala rafath. I can't say rafath now. Let me explain it later. Wala fusuq, right? Let's explain what the fusuq is. Let's get it from the Quran. Al-Ma'idah, chapter Ma'idah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, right, the table, verse 47. وَلْيَحْكُمْ أَهْلُ الْإِنْجِيلَ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. So God is telling us here who's the fasiqun, right? So, the people of the Injil shall rule in accordance with Allah's revelation, which is the Injil. Therein, those who do not rule in accordance with Allah's revelations are the wicked. So we know here who's the fasiqun. It's the wicked, right? Wicked. Let's give you another verse. This is verse Tawbah. I think it's Tawbah, verse 23. وَالَّذِينَ يَرْمُونَ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَأْتُوا بِأَرْبَعَةِ شُهَدَاءَ فاجلدوهم 80 جلدة ولا تقبلوا لهم شهادة أبدا وأولئك هم الفاسقون. Those who accuse married women of adultery, then fail to produce 4 witnesses, you shall whip them 80 lashes and never accept any testimony from them. Again, they are the wicked. So we know who's the wicked. All right, let's go to Jidal, because he says there's no arguments, right? And then I'll tell you who else is the fasiqun. Fasiqun are the hypocrites, people that cover the truth, which is the kuffars, and who forgot Allah. He doesn't do salat, he hasn't got no contact with Allah at all. Those people are called the wicked, right? In the Quran, the whole Quran, you're not going to find any other meaning, right? It's not fighting physically, it's not, right? And then we find the argument. I didn't give you any verses, I'm afraid, but go and find out what word jidal means in the Quran. The word jidal in the Quran is arguing the truth or arguing the verses of Allah. That's what the jidal is, right? In the Quran, yeah? In the Quran. That's what the jidal is. So, when you look at this, right, and you think, how these people become wicked? Because they spread basically something they done with their mouth. And then the jidal here is something done with your mouth. So the rafath has to be something you done with your mouth. You do with your mouth. All right. we compare the two things, the two verses. أحل لكم, yeah, yeah. أحل لكم الرفث إلى نسائكم. That means something you do with your mouth, not with your hand. So here, sexual harassment can't just be done with the mouth. It could be done physically as well. So that really gives that idea a bit of it's not, you know, it's not, doesn't make it perfect, right? So the rafat is something you do with your mouth. But here said God forbidded it when you do Hajj. See, so God here said Al-Hajju ashhurun ma'lumat faman farada fihinna al-Hajj fala rafath. That means he made it here haram. So if he made it here haram, if we go back to the uhilla lakum al-rafatha ila nisaikum, yeah, that means in the Hajj it was haram, right? But to do fasting is halal, to do the rafath at night to your, and I said to your women, not women as females, to your women as people that you're responsible for. Alright? وحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم. This, he made a difference here. He actually said الرفث إلى نسائكم. He didn't say, because here God said do not do rafath. He didn't say any particular person, but don't do it at all. It was haram to do it with everyone. But here, they actually made it halal. So it was haram, he made it halal to do it, this rafath, to your women. And when you think about it, this rafath, if you do with your mouth, so he's talking. So Allah said, right, وَحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ. So the siyam has to be in a day. So, because this is night, so he can do the rafath with his women. Right? هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن. لباس لكم ولباس لهن. And people that work for you, right? People that work for you, even your women, it doesn't matter, your wife, people that work for you, right? You guys, you have responsibility to them, and they have rights and they have responsibilities, and you have rights and responsibilities, and that's what it means here, right? أنتم لباس لهن وهن لباس لهم. That means after finishing this siyam, you have to basically contact these people. You can. God allowed it to contact these people because you have business with, just in case they need you. And you go back, so it's halal to do it. It's halal to do it, to interact with these people. So the rafath, something, so you can talk to your women. You can talk to these people, but a general talk. You understand? About business, about your life, about whatever, about your women, about general talk. But before that talk, right, you can only talk. When do you do in Siyam? You can only talk. When you're in the masjid, right, you can only talk about God, Allah, right? You don't do this outside talking. That's why in the Hajj, these responsible people need to go there to solve people's problems, right? By using the Quran, using the revelations, whatever they had at the time, right? Not to talk about their wives, not to talk crap, basically. Just concentrate on the matter in hand. This is serious stuff. We're talking about people's lives here. Do you understand that? So, and then he said, right, they are during the night. So, permitted for you is the rafath, is talking, right, general talk with your women, right? Women, not wives, not females, is people you're responsible for, right? During the night of Siyam. They are the keepers of your secrets. No, it's not. This is an explanation crap. So you're responsible for them and they're responsible for you, basically. That's what it is. They're a garment to you and you're a garment to them. You can put it that way, but that's what it means. Because you're responsible for them and they're responsible for you. So they have responsibilities and they have rights, and you have responsibilities and rights. They might want to ask you something about, they need something. I don't know. So you can talk to them, roughly. I understand. So, God knew that you used to betray your souls, right? So God knew they used to betray the souls. before, this, yeah, before they actually discover the Quran, right? And He has forgiven you, right? Not because of the roughest, because they used to do sexual harassment. This is in general, you understand? And has that you used to betray yourselves, and He has forgiven you. This is, to me, looks like it's in general. Do you understand that? Probably things that you used to do before. Is not mentioned here. So I'm not going to mention anything that is not mentioned unless I find another verse who explain this verse to me. You understand? I haven't found any. If anyone knows any verse that explain this, all right, please help. You know what I mean? I have to read the whole Quran to find something like that. You understand? That's going to take time. So, I've forgiven you, redeemed you, and has you, and has forgiven you henceforth. And then he said here, right? You can engage with them. See, when you do Siyam, this idea permitted. فالآن, I mean from now on, right? God, from now on, right? Because obviously the Rafat was haram, right? In the Hajj, right? They probably carried on doing Siyam that way. And God said, no, you're hilla. It's halal to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Only in the Hajj you can't do it. But when you're doing Siyam by yourself, because it's not a group thing, right? You can choose your own days to do it. You can do it more than 2 days. And probably as more as you can do this, is isolate yourself with the Quran. Do not talk rubbish with anyone. Just concentrate on your Quran. And isolate yourself and concentrate on the Quran to get the righteousness. And then when you start getting righteousness, and God said here, now you can talk to them. You understand? Whether you talk to them about what you learn, whether you talk to them about your private things like business or anything. So now you can talk to these people, yeah? Right? الآن باشروهن. It doesn't mean have sex with them. That means get them engaged, all right? You might want to tell them about what you learned from the Quran. You might want to tell them about your life or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or they need you because you're responsible for them, all right? But he said, كتب عليكم وكلوا واشربوا, right? كلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من السن. Now he said, eat and drink. It's not. If they're going to talk about if I'm going to talk to them about the revelations, right? What's got to do with all this? To do with eat and drink, yeah? What's got to do? What we said so far, right? What has it got to do with eat and drink? It just makes no sense. You might as well say, and you can sleep. Well, the God never talks about sleep. You can sleep and you can sleep and walk, you can run, you can do all these things now. Not what I'm saying. You will allow us to do other things as well. You can sleep and you can sleep and you can wake up. It's like doing something like that when you say eat and drink. It's nothing to do with the verse. I mean, the whole context just doesn't make sense if you throw in eat and drink. You know what I'm saying? But eating and drinking, right? It's not literally eating and drinking, you see. Because there is verses in the Quran, it's like, do not eat, yeah? If you got, كُلُوا وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَ الْيَتِيمِ. I mean, you're not going to get his money and literally eat money, are you? No. It's actually spending them, isn't it? Yeah? Spending them, consuming them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means. It's consuming his money, not literally eating his money, right? And drinking is not literally drinking water. You understand? وَأُشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمِ الْعِجْلِ. They were like, they absorbed the ijl, the idol worshippers, the Jews, the part of the Jews were idol worshippers. This God said, وَأُشْرِبُوا, right? فِي قُلُوبِهِمِ الْعِجْلِ. That means the idea of worshipping, idol worshipping, it's stuck in their heads. Although they saw everything, right? But they actually absorbed it. The idea of all idol worship, it doesn't matter what they've seen, they have to go back to it. So they absorbed it. So here's the same. So you talk to each other, right? eating here, right, is consuming the words of Allah, consuming the Quran. It's like reading the Quran. It's like whatever you learn from the Quran, right? You can talk to each other about it, right? Right? Give and take sort of things. And then who's ulil albab? Ulil albab, God said, whoever hears, they hear, and they choose to accept the best what they hear, what they heard. That means we can talk to each other, and if the idea, right, if whatever I said here goes into your head, you absorb it. So you read and absorb, you learn and absorb, right? Until what happens? Until, right, the white thread of light becomes distinguishable from the dark thread of the night at dawn. Then you shall fast until sunset, right? So, not sunset, night, right? So what is the light, the light and the dark? What is the light? What is the light here? What is the light? What is the dark? We go back to the Furqan. Remember the word Furqan that differentiate the light from darkness. So here, by using the Quran and learning from the Quran, right? Learning the science of the Quran, right? And when it's being explained to you, right? That's going to happen, whether you like it or not, right? You're going to see evil from good. It will split it for you. You will see darkness from light, okay? Because all through the Quran, right, it was sent to get us from darkness to light. So many verses. The Quran, right, it was sent to get us from darkness, get us out from darkness to light. And that's exactly what Allah is talking about. And then he said to carry on fasting. So after you see everything, and then that day, you carry on fasting, right, until the night. And then at night, you can talk to them. Or you can put it another way, right? The night doesn't mean literally the night. You just carry on doing it. Do you understand? But it doesn't have to be Surah Siyam, because he's talking about the Khat al-Abyad min al-Aswad. You see the light from darkness. You see what I'm saying? So you can put it that way, or you can just say that person, that man, that responsible man, can carry on doing the Siyam until night. And then in that period, right, he can't do the rafas. Right? He can't talk to his family. He can't do his business because he's isolating himself from that thing. Alright? Now, we carry on. وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنَّ. Exactly, here. And do not engage with them, interact with them. وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ. So, he said, and do not, right? He says here, the white thread, and then fast until sunset. And then, obviously, here he said, and do not engage with them, interact with them, while you retreat to the masjid to carry on your siyam. See, while you're doing this siyam, you shouldn't be talking to them. Right? You should concentrate on siyam, which is learning the book, learning the revelation. These are God's laws. You shall not transgress them. This is Allah. You should not transgress that, because if you're going to do the siyam, you have to concentrate on your siyam, right? Because remember, you put yourself into this. Allah did not make you do it. So you took responsibility to do this siyam, right? So this is how Allah told you to do it. So while you're isolating in the mosque, just go in the masjid, it's not a mosque, right? Wherever it is, it could be in the hotel, it could be in the tent, it could be anywhere. As long as you're interacting with a book, right? That's called a masjid, right? You understand that, yeah? So, Allah thus clarifies His revelations for the people that they may attain salvation. So, this is how God will clarify His revelations by you, right? Just concentrating in his revelation, and then you get to righteousness. Allah thus clarifies his revelations for the people that they may attain. He says here yattaqun, that means to get to righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness here is a salvation for some reason. Yeah. آيَاتِ لِلنَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ, to become righteousness. Righteous, to become righteous. That's why and this righteous word keeps coming back again and again and again. And that's, you can only do it with the Quran. You can't do it with anything else. So here, right, let me explain something to you. If God said, if the light, a night of dawn, at dawn, then go, this distinguishable from the night, dawn, and then all that, and then the Fajr, right? They said the Fajr, right? If God wants us to do something until a certain time, He knows how to do it. Do you understand? He knows He's done it, and He knows how to do it, and it's clear, right? This is chapter 96, verse 1 to 5. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. We revealed it in the night of destiny. وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. How awesome is the night of destiny, or night of destiny, let's just call it that way. لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. Again, the night of destiny is better than 1,000 months. 1,000 months here, it's like an infinite number. It's not actually months, you see what I'm saying? It's not like the month that we know. It's like an infinite number. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. تنزل الملائكة. The night of destiny is better than 1,000 months. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. The angels and the spirit descend therein by their Lord's leave to carry out every command. سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. See, peaceful it is until the advent of the dawn. So مطلع الفجر. He would just say God here. He would just say مطلع الفجر. He doesn't have to say this said until sunlight. Do you know what I'm saying? Al-Fajr is sunlight. You know what I'm saying? So, sunset. No, so should have said too much and I'm tired. This is the Fajr, right? Matla' al-Fajr. So it's the same way. It's the same way. Why using two different verses that mean the same thing? It does make no sense, because in this verse he just said it. Matla' al-Fajr. Advent of dawn. Do you know what I'm saying? Or when the dawn gashes, that's what Fajr is. Something gashes forward. A sun, the light will gash forward to cover the night. That's what Fajr is. But God made it obvious here. Until the advent of dawn. But here, on the other verse, he said it, right? Until the white thread of light becomes this is too many words when you can say it in words, you know what I'm saying? حتى يتبين لكم الخط الأبيض من الأسود من الفجر. Do you know what I mean? When he just said مطلع الفجر. Simple. If it was actually to a certain time, he would just say مطلع الفجر, and we know. We don't have to have all this timing and crap. This and goes up and goes down and all this crap. You know what I mean? We don't have to have this like in the Sunni thing. So this is obvious. I'm just giving you verses to prove that the dark thread from the night thread of dawn is not what the Sunnis think about it now. It's not. It's something entirely different. You know what I'm saying? It's actually until we see the darkness from light. See what I'm saying? That's all it is. Let me find something that I haven't used yet, so I can carry on. I don't want to add it, to be honest. So I've used all this. We finished all this with the Siyam, isn't it? We have finished with the Siyam. I think most of them we have, but I have to clarify other things, so it could be covered entirely. This is okay. Now let's talk about the masjid, right? What is a masjid? What's the purpose of the masjid, right? Surah 9, verse 18. إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله فعسى أولئك أن يكونوا من المهتدين. Then I go. Guidance here, right? The only people to fill the masjids of Allah are those who believe in Allah and the last day, not and do the salat and purify themselves and only fear Allah. They will surely be among the guided. This is the people that's supposed to be in masjid, right? Okay? Remember earlier when God said, I take it when you retreat to the masjid, right? The masjid. That's what a masjid is. And that's what the masjid should be filled with. These people here. Another Surah 72 verse 1-8. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Right? The masjid belong to Allah. So do not call on anyone else beside Allah. You see what the rafith is, right? Because when you're in a masjid doing that Siyam, right, you do not talk about no one, anything, right? You can only, right, talk about God. And this verse proves it. You know what I mean? The masjids belong to Allah. So do not call on anyone else besides Allah. See, when you're in the masjid doing your Siyam, you don't talk about your rafat, about your general things. You don't talk about your business. You don't talk about anything else. You're here doing Siyam in the masjid, talking about the revelations, what you learned from it, what God has guided you with it. I'm saying, how did you get guided? Any wisdom from it? You concentrate on that. You see, that's what the Siyam is, right? If the Siyam was like this for the Sunnis, no one would do it. Trust me, mate. The thing is, it's easy. The Siyam is easy. Just starve yourself for a day, and then you get like a righteousness. No, you don't. Don't get righteousness by starving yourself. You get pissed off. And then you said here, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 114. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا أُولَٰئِكَ مَا كَانَ لَهُمْ أَنْ يَدْخُلُوهَا إِلَّا خَائِفِينَ لَهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا خِزْيٌ وَلَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. Right? What are more evil than those who forbid the name of Allah to be commemorated in the masjid and sought to destroy it? Those ought not to enter therein except fearfully. They will suffer in this life the humiliation and will suffer in the hereafter a terrible retribution. See, if you bring your rafas to your masjid, right, crap talking and all that in the masjid, that's exactly what you're doing. You stop. That's what the Sunnis do today. There's no talk about Allah in the masjid, in their mosques and ma'abid or mosques. No, not anymore. They talk about general things. They talk about people. They talk about stories. They talk about a lot of things, but you don't hear the word Allah unless they can't help it. If they say like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or radiyallahu anhu or something like that, but they don't talk about Allah and God. Precisely, he said, do not call out anyone in a masjid apart from him. You don't say anyone's name. Don't do anything like that. Alright, let's find. This is the masjid. This is akifuna fil masajid, right? When you're akifuna in masajid, right, doing your siyam, right, you do not talk or engage with anyone. You concentrate on what you're doing, right? Let's see something else. Alright. If God, this here as well, right? This verse as well, right? Surah 2, chapter 2, verse 2 or 3. واذكروا الله في أيام معدودات فمن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه ومن تأخر فلا إثم عليه لمن اتقى واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم إليه تحشرون. This is what Siyam is, right? This is what Siyam is, and you just told us, right? You just told us for a minimum of days, right? You shall commemorate Allah for a prepared days. Prepared days are prepared, not few, not. Whoever rushed it in 2 days commits no sin. So if you do this in 2 days, you have committed no sin. And whoever does more commits no sin. As long as righteousness is maintained, you shall be righteous with Allah, and know that before Him you will be gathered. right? So here, dhikrullah is the Quran. Where else? You can't just sit there in the day. Why 2 days? Well, we actually worship God, say the name of God every day. Why God saying this 2 days? Because that is what Siyam is to concentrate with the Quran, to concentrate with the book, right? That's why he said, Iyamin Madudat, you prepare them. And so he just told you how many days minimum you can do it for. You understand? Right? That's why he said, you shall commemorate Allah for a prepared days. Right? Whoever, you haven't got time. People are busy. God knows. Allah knows. People are busy. I can't have the time. I don't have the time. I've been called out. Do you know what I mean? Been called out. Emergency. I have to go. So I rush it and do it in 2 days. Right? So I committed no sin. If I want to do more, yeah, I've committed no sin. It's a choice, isn't it? As long as righteousness is maintained and you be righteous. And how do you be righteous in this verse? It's by commemorating Allah, not by fasting, not by eating and drinking. You don't do it like that. Do you know what I mean? This is obvious. It's telling you here again, right? There's other things that I need to use, right? All right, now, yeah, go back to that, right? Go to verse you understand better, right? One God, one Allah tells us exactly the numbers of days we should do, right? He doesn't leave it like that. He doesn't just leave it like that. He will always tell us, always in the Quran, because when he wanted us to fast 10 days, he actually told us, right? Go to verse 196, Surah 2, right? And find out, right? If we can't do anything, so Allah asked us to fast for 10 days, 3 in the Hajj, and 7 when we go back. Do you know what I mean? He made it clear. He made it clear in that verse. Read what it's all about. If you can't do something, if you can't find it, you can read it. That's too long. If I have to do this, I'll be here forever. And it's already 1 hour, 21 minutes. But I invite you to go and read the verse. And God tells you to fast 3 days in the Hajj and 7 days when you go away, because you should do it for 10 days. But you don't have to do it, though. This is all if you actually put yourself out there and you want to do it and you're prepared for it. There's no obligations here at all. Do you understand? But if you want to do it right. Do not mess about. God doesn't mess about. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why he says that's the boundary of God. So if you want to do it right. Because if you don't do it right, you're not going to get the message to others right. You're not going to be righteous, you see. If you're not going to be righteous, you're not good to me. You know what I'm saying? Because we be righteous for a reason, because this is responsible men. And I'm not saying that only responsible men can do it. No. Anyone wants to do it, he can do it. But why why Allah is actually saying about these responsible people, God doesn't do things from his own, like no sense. Right? Hang on. What did I miss? I told you about the masajid, right? Okay. I've talked about that, talked about this. I talked about the fusq and everything. So, do I need to make another video? Yeah. And no, we come to this verse as well. Sorry, you're going to have to watch it, cut it in half, whatever. Alright, now, let's go to a very important verse, right? Surah Al-Ahzab, Surah 33, chapter 35. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين الصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. So, listen to this, yeah? The submitting man and the submitting women. The believing man, the believing women. The obedient man, the obedient women. The truthful man, the truthful women. The steadfast man, the steadfast women. The reverent man, the reverent women. Charitable man, the charitable women. the and then they put in the middle of that the fasting men and the fasting women, the chaste men and the chaste women, and the men who commemorate Allah frequently and the commemorating women. Allah has prepared for them forgiveness and a great recompense. I mean, if you're going to put all these people, the submitters, the believers, the obedience, this is all to Allah, yeah? Obedience, the truthful, you know what I mean? Truthful people, you know what I mean? The steadfast women and men, the reverent women and men, the chaste women, chaste men, the charitable man, the charitable woman, and then you put people who starve themselves the whole day in there. It just don't make no sense. Do you know what I mean? Can't just go in there. It's like I don't know. It's like this big footballers here. It's like Messi and Ronaldo and I don't know. We have to bring Riyad Mahrez in it. It's Algeria. I have to bring him and all the top footballers, right, are in there. And then you put like a random person who's never played football or something, or played a little bit of football in college or something. And you put him there with them without no one realising who that is. You know what I mean? I mean, so someone fast is like someone is like, you know, truthful man. It's like, that makes no sense. That's why it's fasting. That's why Siyam is not fasting, because the Sa'imuna was Sa'imat, right? See, here, God, when he said Sa'imun was Sa'imat, that means men and women. But in fact, these people are all men. Or the women as well, if you want to do it with no, you know, normal person wants to do it. People who is not responsible, I mean, is actually got, you know, like a normal people like us, normal people like us, like we can't help this hedge thing. We can't help this cause. I mean, we can do this Siyam, but to get righteousness, and then we live with it and do it to our families. But that's not going to change a lot, is it? Let's just say I'm a plumber who knows about 20 people. If I do this Siyam, right, and I get righteousness, I'll be only good to the 50 people around me, my family and all that, you know what I'm saying? I'll be only good to 50 people. But if I was a president and done this Siyam and came out with righteousness, look how many people I can do good to. Do you know what I mean? Look how many people. That's why God here, Hajj is for Rijal, people who have responsibilities, people who can actually help the cause better. Do you understand? So, that doesn't work, putting fasting people among them people. Alright, and then what we're going to talk about? I think that's it. I think I actually said everything, but I can actually bring other verses, because Siyam can be as well. Some people say it's to volunteer. Volunteers the Siyam, to go and volunteer the whole day, but that's not i'tizal, is it? That's not isolating yourself, is it? That's not isolating yourself. And but God said in the middle of it, if you don't do Siyam, right, you can actually do volunteering. So Siyam can't be volunteering, so that's not the same. That's not right. That doesn't work either. Alright, a Siyam can be like a rehabilitation or like you can call it punishment. It can be, but it's not a punishment. Alright, think about it. If someone, alright, that verse that says if someone kills someone, a mu'min, right, a believer kills a believer not on purpose, right? It happened, but he didn't do it on purpose. So he said to give this and this and this, or you can do the Siyam for 2 months. Right. So to starve yourself for 2 months, I mean, you can't stop. It has to be 2 months. Obviously, you eat in the night, compared to them, right? So you eat in the night, yeah. If he was fasting, right? You eat in the night, but 2 months. What's that gonna do? What's that gonna do? I just killed someone, right? And I'm really, really shaky. Right? I'm really shaky. I probably live in that town or something, so people can see me. But I go and fast for 2 months and just tell them, all right, I'm starving myself for you guys. Is that gonna make them feel better? Is that gonna help a situation? Is it? Is it gonna help a situation? Is it? It's not, is it? It's nothing to do with it. You just killed someone. Yeah? You didn't do it on purpose. I know. Allah knows. Yeah. This is not punishment. I'll explain to you in a minute. This is not punishment because Allah knows that he didn't mean to kill him. So how is he going to punish him, starving for 2 months? But when you see it, it's about isolating himself and reading, right? Reading from the Quran, right? What happens there? First of all, if he isolates himself for 2 months, people around there that know him, that probably he killed his neighbor's kid, like that. After 2 months, I don't want to see someone who killed my kid, to be honest, for a while. I know he didn't do it on purpose, but I don't want to see him straight away, would I? I don't want to see him like going around me. I don't want to see him there. Well, I know he didn't do it on purpose, but I need time to adjust. So God is sending him away for 2 months for the people to forget about him and they adjust. And for him to read the Revelations, the Quran, to gain peace. Because in the Quran, right, you gain peace. You get peace from it. You get righteousness. You get people is telling you, don't worry, it's not your fault. You didn't kill him on purpose. So you ain't got no sin there. That's the whole purpose of it. Not to starve him for 2 months. And I can bring out other verses, but look, it's an hour and 30 minutes. Hopefully, guys, right? So what the Siyam is, right? That people, responsible people, I'm not just saying Rijal, when God said Rijal, right? Because I know female and males can both do it. But said Rijal means women and men at the same time. Like females and males are the Rijal, the men, right? They have responsibilities. So females and males can do the Siyam with responsible jobs. People with responsible jobs, because with money it doesn't help here. So responsible jobs, right? Right? Responsible jobs. Responsible jobs. So they do the Siyam, isolate themselves. That's why he said prepare them. So these people have a lot of responsibilities. So you have to prepare for them. And then go away, isolate themselves, read the Quran, learn from it, absorb from it, eat and drink from it, right? Eat and drink from it until you see the light, and you see the light, you see some verses open up to you, explaining themselves to you. That's how you see light from darkness, right? And then whatever you learned, that makes you righteous. And if you're righteous and you're a president or anyone like that, or irresponsible, a prime minister, you could be like I don't know, a town leader, you could be anyone with status, right? If you're righteous, right, you be good to them people, right? You be just, you be good, you be righteous. So you spread the message quicker. Do you understand? You spread your righteousness to a lot of people instead of me doing it to 50. That's why he says the Hajj, only Rijal go there. Female and male responsible people who have something to give, something to help with, right? And this Siyam is for that. It's not for everyone. Not everyone has to do it unless you want to. If you don't want to do it, there's no sin, right? You can feed one poor, or you can do look, feed one poor is a good deed, or you can do volunteering. Let's say you're a doctor, yeah? You don't want to do this Siyam, right? And you're a doctor, right? You said for one day tomorrow, I'm going to do everything for free, for example. That's why it's better, right? It's better than feeding the poor, because you can help more people. So instead of feeding one poor person, you can help 50 poor people that day. Do you know what I'm saying? And then, but this Siyam is better for you because you gain righteousness, makes you a better person. That's all the Siyam is. Everyone can do it. Isolate themselves from their responsibilities, the daily rubbish, the routine and that, and from their family, from everywhere, everyone concentrate on the Quran revelations to gain, because that's the only place you can get righteousness is from the revelation. So you concentrate yourself, you put yourself in that, read it, digest it, drink it until you gain righteousness, and then you come out of there. You stop in the night, you go to your family, you go to your responsibilities, you go to your phone calls, you go to whatever you want and talk to them. But while you're doing Siyam in the masjid, it's not a mosque, it's anywhere you want, right? Do not interact with anyone, because you can't concentrate on what you're doing. That's why Zachariah, Allah told him not to talk to people. And he asked Maryam not to talk to people. She has to digest what just happened. And for Zachariah, the same. See, they just had the revelations sent to them. They have to digest that first. Don't rush it and then they said the wrong things. See what I'm saying? Digest what you just witnessed, and then when you're ready, you can spread it. That's all the CM is. Doesn't have a time of the year. There's no time of the year you should do it. You can do it any time you want. You don't have to do a lot. You don't have to do it at all. But if you want to do it minimum 2 days, right? Minimum 2 days, because that's his book. He said 2 days because you probably can't get righteousness in 1 day. See what I'm saying? 2 days is better. You know what I'm saying? A minimum of 2 days, and you can do as many as you want. Doesn't matter if you can do it. Some people can't do it at all. They don't have to. Some people don't do it at all. They don't have to. You can feed the poor, volunteer. You can do whatever you want. Do a good deed. Instead of doing Siyam, do a good deed. Amir Saleh. That's all it is. And then when you're doing that, you concentrate on that, and then you go home. You go home, even you can ask it at home. You can, if you want to ask it at home, ask it at home. But you don't want anyone knocking on your door or messing around with you, do you know what I'm saying? So you have to go somewhere that you isolate yourself. That's the only way you can concentrate. That's all CM is. That's all CM is. I can't say anymore. I think I talked too much, and I think I probably confused you guys. But if I did, please let me know, and I'll explain it better again. Not explain it better, probably because it's not easy. It's just too many things. Probably I have to write a little book and follow it, so I can give it to you like in I don't know, but only you guys can tell me, right? So fasting is not it's not his, right? It's nothing to do with this, man. It's nothing to do with food, man. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with food. Peace out.